Call the meeting to order, let's play allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know the agenda's gotta be amended.
Yeah, guys, I wanna put, pool manager on there somewhere. I don't know where you wanna do it, the pool board met and discussed hiring,
I'm gonna do it the first thing.
that's fine with me.
I need a motion to amend the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to amend the agenda, and we'll put the pool manager as first new business. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay. Approve the minutes from last meeting.
Move we approve the minutes in last meeting.
Second?
Oh, second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes from last meeting. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Payroll and bills to be paid. Chris, here's my payroll. It's been went through and gone, done. Francis?
Yep. I went through the bills, everything was good, the one seems a little wild and crazy with that Dries Company one, but
That's for our urinals.
yeah, that's a hellacious
It's
valve.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
How much are the bill?
$462 or something like that.
Yeah, we had one go out, and then the guy came and took the good one and put it on the bad one, and as they were ordering, then that one went out, so I had to get two of them.
So otherwise everything else.
One of the things I wanna talk about on there, sorry for any of
It's
the
all right.
interrupt you, but the mean bill on there is 36,000. That looked a little out of whack to me, so I looked at the bill, and, one of the things that we're getting charged for is called a pooled energy adjustment. And we talked about this a couple of months ago, back in November, December, we were gonna get charged for what's called a PEA. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but
Mm-hmm.
in that letter that we got, we received, we were supposed to be charged $1,974.31. And so, this is the one that raised the big stink with all the big customers. And we were like, well, you know, it's $1,900, let's let the big guys fight for that. Well, now we get this one that's $4,611 for last month. It's a penny a kilowatt. And so I called out there and I talked to the billing people, and they're like, well, you know, this is a charge that we're gonna charge you for this month and maybe next month and maybe the month after that, we don't know for sure. But there's nothing we can do about it. $4,611.75 to be exact.
Where's that under, Chris?
It's not on here,
Okay.
it's right here.
Chris, is that on top of the 1900 or the other?
Yes, it's on top of 1900.
6,000 something.
Yes, and the thing that bothers me the worst is we don't know what it's gonna be. You know, they may or may not charge us for it, so, I mean, how do you,
Is this from, because they couldn't schedule their budget?
yeah, it's because they didn't make their budget, that's where it's from.
So will we be charging $1,900 charge on top of $4,600 every month also?
No, the
19
$1,900 is for,
A one-time charge?
April, May, June, July, August, and September of 2013. And that we have to pay for in July, August, September, October, November, and December of this month. So that's split up about between $200 and $500 a month over those 4 months. We knew that going in. $500 a month is not an ungodly amount.
Mm.
$4,500 a month
Mm-hmm.
can be an ungodly amount.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the lady that I talked to didn't know. She couldn't tell me whether or not they were gonna charge it to us or not.
Could you go any higher to find out or not?
I didn't try that. I can try that.
When does that do? Is that due in 15 then?
It's on our bill. No, it's on our bill. It's due, it's on that
Monthly.
$36,000.
Oh.
It's maybe not necessarily a monthly cost. I don't know that. She couldn't tell me whether it was
Just
monthly.
whenever they think they're out of money, they're gonna charge us
They're
for
gonna
it.
charge.
Well, I think your big players are gonna go squash it.
I don't know if they can.
Well, they have to,
Honestly, don't.
go through their regs to get that rate increase, or somewhere in there it's gotta be written in there, and it's gotta be passed.
To be approved.
The PEA is what was passed.
Yeah.
Pooled energy adjustment is what was passed. And so I think what that, when they passed it, I think what it says is that when they need it,
They can charge you.
They can
Gives them
charge
a
you.
free hand to do what they wanna do.
the lady that I was talking to asked me, well, don't you guys have a way to charge your customers when you don't make your budget? And I said, well, sure, we can charge them whatever we think we need to. But I said, good management says that you don't have to do that.
So can we get a list of what they charge everybody?
I would guess that we probably could.
I mean, I'd like to see what everybody else is paying
You
too.
know, that would be nice to see.
Mhm.
Cause they gave us a whole list, you know, the 1,900, what everybody else was going to pay, that's why we didn't really squawk too much about that.
Yeah, because we always thought that was just gonna be a one-time charge, right?
Pretty hard to set electric rates when we're getting a charge every, we could set something down the road here, and the next time we get another charge, you can't just keep jumping in and raising rates every other month here to cover our costs for expenses. Pretty tough.
Yeah, and then to justify that to the citizens of Wall Lake, why we're getting that charge.
Yeah.
We run out of town.
So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that.
And how about if we did, they'd have to replace us.
They might not even do that.
You put that on top of our other costs, what they're gonna do in April 1st, they start adding this up pretty fast.
Well, that was another thing that she told me. She said, we've got a rate increase, scheduled in for April 1st, which we knew about that. We got told that. And she said, so hopefully the PEA goes away, but I don't know if it will or not. So we could get charged the PEA on top of the increase that we're gonna see in April.
Well, I would suggest to council that Chris searches that out and tries to find out some questions to those, so that council has a little better grasp on what's going on.
And through the conversations that I had with her, evidently she went and told Andrew Ross, who's, he's one of the first guys that I met in NFP, and he sent me an email asking me to come to the
Meeting?
annual meeting in West Point, so that him and I could sit down and he could show me the challenges of the electric business. So I said, you bet, I'll be there.
We should put a dam on the buoys.
Huh?
Put a dam on the buoy.
I
There'll be water running down it first.
I ain't too sure, fellas, but maybe we should call Mid-America up and see, we're getting ripped off here, it looks terrible. Maybe we should do some checking and see what Mid-America could do for us. We can get out of this contract.
Before you jump both feet first, why don't you and Ron and Gary and Chris go out to this meeting out there and see what you can find out.
Yeah.
It's in May, right?
Actually, the meeting
I'm not
that
saying-
he's talking about, the annual meeting is March 31st,
That's what I thought.
1st of April and 2nd of April. So, and then I can't be there on the 2nd, which they don't really do anything on the 2nd, I don't think, so.
I think three, you ought to go out there and find out what's going on out there. So let's, it's all right with council, we'll just table that one for right now, till we find out a little more information on that.
There's nothing on the table, we gotta pay it at this point.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it other than this and that.
So we have to pay this one no matter what. I'll need a motion to amend the bills to be paid then.
Why amend the
There's
bill?
no amending we need to do. We didn't do anything to change, we didn't make any
It
changes.
isn't.
Oh, it's in there? Oh, it's in the 36,000, I'm sorry, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
It's in there.
I'm sorry, it's in there. I'm sorry, you're right.
I just wanted to make everybody aware of it.
Yeah, that's fine, thank you. I'll take a motion to accept the bills to be paid then.
I'll make a motion. Pay the
Second.
bills.
Second.
Moved and seconded to pay the bills as printed. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Okay, Joe, CDBG, project update.
I was saying earlier, we got comments back from DNR, I think it was Wednesday, like I said. I was out Thursday, Friday. So started getting into them today. Chris and I were kind of on the phone a little bit, talking about some of these. Plan is to kind of get those comments addressed this week, get them back to Jennifer Button, who is reviewing there for the DNR.
Do you have copies there, Joe? I didn't make copies.
I didn't make copies of everything, I just had that one. But basically, I got answers on most of them that I wanted Chris to kind of go over first, and then if he's kind of in agreement, then we'll get them sent to her and see what her comments back are. Nothing really too much out of the ordinary. Talked a little bit with Rick today too. One of them is we need to have a separate pressure gauge and tap for the well, the new line that we're putting in. And since we're not running into well number 2 building, we can't, there's no access to the pipe there. So I think what we're gonna have to do, we have to get a number from Dave while he's putting that flow measuring manhole in, that's right next to the building there. And then we were gonna run the readout into well house number 2. I think as they run that line for the readout, we'll just run like a 3/4 inch copper into the building with it, and then we can put a gauge and a sampling tap on that. So that ought to take care of that. Rest of them were more just about like the generator, is there a generator? And I just mentioned that the city's, looking at the options as far as getting a generator bought on their own. Some other questions as far as what the well drilling contractor's gonna do. I called them up today and kinda got them all answered. So it's just the process of kinda going through them. Like I said, we'll get them taken care of this week, and then hopefully she'll get that turned back around pretty quick, because I know Dave King talked to him last week, or emailed last week. He would like to get a pre-con set up here pretty soon.
And they came up and, Sergeant came up and drilled a hole.
Yeah, just a test, not a test well, but just a test hole, he's calling it, because they, I guess in a way, they don't really trust
Yeah.
the sieve analysis from the test well, they wanna do their own, that's fine. They just wanted to go down and do their own sieve analysis on what formation's down there, so they can verify what we had in the set of plans.
They'll drill another hole then?
Mm-hmm.
That cost is incurred by them.
Right, that would have been in their bid number. They were planning on doing a test hole. But Dave would like to get either, I think he was kinda shooting for this week, but he said, for the next week or two, if we get a pre-con set up, that way we can get everybody here, whoever wants to be here from the city, would be able to attend. I'll send out a memo once we get a date kinda set. And we'll get the utility company here also, and then he'll have all his subcontractors here, we can kinda go over schedule and so forth. Haven't heard anything more from the railroad. I did contact them a couple times
that was
in the
my next
process. The last time I contacted him, he said he was waiting on his engineer to review it, and then they would get it approved, but geez, that's probably been,
6
that's probably,
weeks.
yeah, that's probably
Almost
been
6 weeks.
pushing a month or better, yeah, so I need to probably touch base with him again. I'll just email or call him again and say, well, where you at, just so we're not waiting on that once Dave's ready to roll. So,
Okay.
okay,
One thing I see here, we gotta have our transformer more than 200 feet from there. Our transformer's too close, we gotta move that.
well, it's either that or we can apply for a variance and then have containment around it. And what we're looking at there is maybe if we build that pad, we just put a pad with about an 8-inch curve around it. That way, if we do lose any oil, it's contained.
Because our transformer's a lot less than 200 feet.
Yeah, it's about 120, I think, now, even if they were over by that bank of, and that was the thing Chris and I kinda scratched our head at, DNR was out here on the site before we drilled that test well, we checked all those distances, and I guess nothing was ever mentioned of the transformers over
Must
there.
have escaped them then.
Yeah. So like I said, we'll try to do some kind of containment, and just ask for a variance on that, is what we're looking at.
How far away is the lagoon?
Lagoon's about 1,100 feet, 1,200 feet, so we could go south if we wanted to, and then instead of having a transformer up on the berm, it'd have to be back over in that corner by the bridge. But the whole reason we wanted to put it on the berm, and that was kind of a response there, was to get it up above flood elevation. You know, so it's a lot of water itself, if it ever did get
Mhm.
flooded there. So that's just some of that little things we have to work through.
If we went south, we'd have to go to the pad that's down there. You know, that parking lot or whatever you wanna call it. We'd have to get south of the north part of that yet, so.
Well, there's another tap or down by the lagoon, that's what I'm saying. Another one in boxes by the lagoon that isn't being used,
Yeah, the hell, there is a transformer still sitting there,
sitting where,
right?
no transformer sitting nowhere, yeah.
There's one right there, within 120 feet.
Yeah, up in the corner there, yeah.
Right, so that
wanna
ain't no
use that
good.
one? Come off that one?
Well, the way Mark said, it would have to be a new transformer, wasn't it?
That's what I was understanding.
That's the way Mark had mentioned, it'd be another transformer just for,
Just for the well.
so I don't know if that's another transformer, if that's just the switch gear over there in that corner. But,
Yeah, that could be just a switch too.
Can you find that out for us, Joe?
I'll find that out.
Or Chris can, yeah.
But just kind of read through those, like I said, a lot of those I got answered by the contractor. I think a lot of those is just, the DNR was just verifying what the well contractor was gonna do. And I did talk to him today, you know, and he said, yeah, he's, you know, which lab he's gonna use, and I got his certification number, so she knows that they're certified, and that they're gonna disinfect everything. She didn't think we had anything about disinfecting the gravel that went in there. But we did have it in our spec, and I just highlighted that for her.
Number 8, has a floodplain permit been obtained?
Well, that's the thing. All they required was that we get the tap of the casing 3 feet above flood, 100-year flood elevation, which we got that flood elevation, and we filled out the paperwork for that.
So that should be all taken care of.
Should be taken care of, that's why I got a contact, I left a message for Kelly Stone, who had contacted me a couple of weeks ago about the 100, you know, how did we get that number?
Mhm.
And I just told him that we based it off of what the county had for the bridges, of that bridge when it was replaced. So I'll just have to keep touching base with him.
Council, questions?
Yeah, how's it live to be this age since we've been drinking all this bad
Yeah.
water?
It's a good question. I'm not sure Joe can answer that.
I know.
And like I said, once we get a date figured out with the pre-con, I'll let Chris know wherever they know, and if anybody can make it, great. Trying to keep things moving now.
Are we kind of still on target to get completed by, what are we talking,
I think we had a September 30 or something
Yes.
like that date, yes.
we are still on target.
Yeah,
Because I know, you know, one of the questions in here is that they gotta have a temporary cap on that casing. You know, if they are drilling and they stop and didn't get finished drilling, you know, it's gotta be either welded or threaded on. But the drill guy told me, he said, well, they'll set up one day, and he said the next day they'll drill it and be
Yeah.
done. You know,
It ain't going very deep.
Yeah, 56 feet, you know, so they'll,
Yeah, that is like.
but he thought it'd be one day they never
200
drilled.
or something like that, yeah.
So that won't be the big holdup, you know, then we'll have to test pump it and everything, 24 hours and all that good stuff, so. And I think once Dave gets rolling with that main, you know, I think once he gets going, you know,
yeah,
that'll be good shape, yeah.
but, I mean, Dave knows it's gotta be done by the 30th, and so, you know, he'll do what he needs to get it done.
Questions, Rick, anything? Will they need any help from the city at all? A man or anything?
No, but I'm sure there'll be little things that pop up, I suppose.
We're responsible for the electric, like the transformer.
Getting the transformer over to it and stuff, yeah.
Questions, council?
Okay? Well, if there are any questions in the meantime, you can give me a call.
Now's the time, council. Either that or forward your questions to Chris so that he can get them down to Joe.
Like the DNR is taking care of all of our questions.
Mm-hmm.
Making more.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Joe, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update.
You bet.
We're gonna move on. The amended agenda is that the pool board has met, and we had one application for a pool manager. She was pool manager last year. We had nothing but good comments on her. So we have, the pool board has, I basically told her that she's hired. I'm gonna ask council if there's any questions. If not, I would accept a motion to accept the hiring of Megan Dross as pool manager.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded to accept Megan Dross as the pool manager. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay. We, as pool committee, are going to go through applicants tomorrow night, and we will make our recommendations to Megan on Friday. We will have a meeting with Megan on Friday night, and probably make a decision. Does council want to know who we hire to approve, or can we just go ahead and hire? Because these kids need to know, because there's certain training that's out there that they need to get going on and get training on. That's why we're doing it as abruptly as we possibly can. Chris, you can help me out on this. Emma's got to take, what class is it WSI?
No,
There's another training out there, ain't there?
yeah, there's just a lifeguard training that
Okay.
you gotta go through.
And it's available, and it's available real quick. And we'd like to get these kids hired so that they're locked in, so that they know they don't need to go find another job. So I would like council's approval just to go ahead and hire the lifeguards that we need. Franny, I think that she did a good job as far as your inventory goes. And we stressed upon her that she's the only one that signs for anything. And we stay in town to buy stuff, and that's what we're gonna stay at. If you guys have any recommendations as of right now, please tell me, or get a hold of me before Friday, that you would like to see done differently or see done.
Well, the only thing I got is, and maybe she did do it, but I've never seen it, is a check and balance system or a cash flow. You know, I've seen a lot of bills go through here, but I never saw anything come back in,
Okay,
so.
and I might have that out there, and I might forgot to get that to you, Franny, I'm not quite sure. So, let me
Yeah.
check on that for you.
That shouldn't be difficult for her to do, I don't think.
We know it don't make no money, but we still nice to know where the money's.
Believe it or
Our
not,
concession stand should make money.
Huh?
Our
Believe it or
concession
not-
stand
Oh,
should-
yeah.
If it's not making money, that's what I really wanna know.
Right.
we
You know, so-
did do a turnaround last year. We,
Yeah.
Our checks and balances were a lot more improved last year than they were in previous years, so, she was doing a good job. I am going to CPO class March 20th, so that we have a backup for the city, so that I can apply chemicals in case she gets sick, goes to a funeral, wedding, whatever have you, so that I can be her backup for her. I gotta take 2 courses this year. Chris has already got that, or Lynn actually has got that lined up for me. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I'm going to Carroll, I don't have to drive to Des Moines this year, thank God, so. Any other questions on pool?
Yeah, we're gonna do the cement work this summer before we start, or is that kinda, you got that in the plan pretty well?
Yeah, we haven't talked about that at all.
Nope, we'll probably hit that.
We're doing
Pretty well got that down,
Yep.
okay.
we got a $1,500 grant from INS to do it, back in August, I think it was, of last year, we approved $4,400 out of our pool account for that, so we're gonna spend that $5,900.
And Rick's gonna be, I want Rick to be the one to say, this is what needs fixed at this spot.
We've already got
But
that.
we do that plumbing a little bit too, or make sure it's good.
We've already got that all worked out.
That's all in place.
And the Pool chair has it been ordered?
Yeah,
Yes,
Pool chair
we
has
just
been
paid
ordered?
for it.
yeah, they got the check, they have to have some kind of a drawing of our
Pools, they design it.
scum gutter, or whatever you wanna call that, so they know how far it's gotta go out or something, but they got it, it should be shipping here in the next couple of days, it takes a couple of weeks to get here.
It is not permanent, it will be portable, it will sit back in our shed, and if somebody requests it, we can bring it out, mount it, to get them, so that they can use it. We didn't feel that we wanted a permanent, for the simple fact that we didn't want kids going out there and playing on it and thinking this is a
Recreation.
toy or something that they could do it, so.
We got a grant for $6,000 and the chair cost us $4,900, so. That worked out well.
Yep. Yes, sir,
Is this a handicapped accessible chair?
yes,
Thank you.
state of Iowa law,
Actually, it's a federal government law.
yes, that is correct. Any other questions on the pool? Chris, you're up, clerk's report.
Okay, page 5. You guys can see the balance last month was $88,169.46, and then you can see the receipts, the payments, the payroll, transfer to savings. There's 2 of those. The $28,000 is normal. We do that every month. The $21,517 is CDBG grant money that we got in for the water project. So we just transfer that into a savings account. Additional deposits, the $35.99 is Robin's final check from the community center, and then there was a $2,799 check from the fitness center that was written back in December that we never deposited. So we just deposited that last month. So that's how you get to the $3,500 there. So our cash balance in our general fund now is $37,765.95, and you'll see that on the next page.
I'm on page 5, but I don't have that.
You're on page 6.
Yeah, drop down.
Keep going.
The 6 don't do it either.
You can put it on that.
It's going too far.
Oh, no, you're,
You get the wrong one, got the wrong one,
yeah,
did.
this is last month.
I just got switched out.
Well, then you screwed me up, you put me on the wrong sheet. I want my right way, I just think things didn't look right.
We got more coming in though.
Yeah, there we go.
Pretty short month.
Now you get 14, and that's what I.
That'll give you much for paying.
Yeah, that's
There you
been
go.
coming up, yeah.
There you go. Now you
End
should
it on a
go to
weekend.
page 5 there, Albert.
So you don't get on your.
That looks better.
He doesn't like his
I
mouse.
looked at that.
I don't ever use it either.
No, I'd sooner use the other, come on, get going here.
Right there.
There, that looks better.
Okay, so you're on page 6 now?
I will be.
Okay. So if you look at page 6, all of the accounts on there are reconciled. And really, there's not a big change in any of them. You can see the library account went down a little bit, I think last month, $10,500, and they paid a couple of bills out of there, so now it's $8,300.
That's the furnace been paid out of there.
Yeah, we had to pay
No, that comes out of our account, though.
It
Comes
comes out of our
out of our account, I'm
Let's
sorry.
just forget about the furnace.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, so I mean,
It's definitely a cold subject. So, I guess I really don't have anything on here unless you guys have any questions. The park renovation fund is $140,000, and, I mean, they're still waiting for our $25,000. I asked them if we could wait.
we're gonna last there.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely need to be last.
Hopefully we don't
I
need-
guess, one thing I could say about this, you guys see the $1.6 million there, and if you look at the $638,000 of that, there's just about $400,000 that comes out of there for Schrader's 3rd edition, and then up a little higher, and that's all the way at the top to $306,000. We got at least $120,000 coming out of there for our water project, so you take $500,000 out of that right away, and we're back to $1 million. And then we've got our TIF fund in here, and we've got our our road use fund in here, so, you know, we don't have any money to just spend right now.
You can't spend the cemetery permanent fund for a while?
No, we can't touch that at all.
All we can do is the interest off.
You know what perm means? It doesn't mean what you do, Gary. It means
Damn.
permanent, you can't ever touch anything on that.
That ain't very good.
No. One thing that we haven't been able to do anything with, that we can do next June, if we decide to pay off our bond, see that $69,500 all the way at the bottom? That's a bond reserve CD that we've got down at the bank, and all that is basically a 1-year payment for the bond that we have. Because it's a revenue bond, so you have to have one of those. If we do pay the bond off in June next year, we can get that $69,500 and spend that. So, if you guys don't have any questions on that sheet, go skip the next page and go to the page after that. Don't really have a lot to talk about here other than the pool donate, or the park donation. I mean, they got $10,000 in last month. I think that was from Bank Midwest. And then all the way down at the bottom there, local option sales tax, the $9,381. That's 2 months. We got March's payment late in February, so that's in there. So you won't see anything in March next month for that. The donations, the $48.85, that was the principal stock that we sold.
To start off our
Right.
endowment fund.
Right. You guys have any questions, make sure you stop me. Next page, you can see there's really not much in there. There's a $4,500 bill for general supplies, and that was the doors that we put in down at the building, down by the depot. We're still pretty decent on our snow removal. We will get a bill at the end of the year for sand and salt from the county. We've used quite a bit of that. Seems like every time it snows, it's just a little bit, and we don't have to push it, but we have to use sand, so. Page 10 there, you see library natural gas. I guess we'll talk about it one more time. That's the actual cost of the furnace. That's not the labor that's involved with it, that's just the furnace, so that's why it's $43.89, right? Down below that, Parks, $96.56, that is the bleachers for the bleacher project, down at the racetrack. We got a $7,000 grant to buy bleachers, and then the city said they would pitch in 500, the community club said they would pitch in 500, and the farm festival committee is gonna pay for the rest of it. They're gonna pay about $4,500 for that project, so that'll be all taken care of. Okay, next page. Nothing really out of the ordinary there. Anybody got any questions on anything yet? Keep moving then. So then you get to our road use fund, and this is a fund that, for Albert and Ron, I guess, we get about $6,000 or $7,000 a month in that account. It's about $80,000 a year, roughly, that we get in there to use for,
It's pretty request.
basically anything to do with your roads. Can be salaries, or you can see it there, salaries, health benefits, maintenance, street repairs. Next page, page 13, our TIF fund. Nothing really there, I mean, we don't do anything in that fund except for.
We pay for the lots and everything, Chris, that's all taken care of.
Right. It's all taken care of, we haven't received any deeds or anything like that yet. One was working on
That
that.
come out of here, right?
Huh?
Come out of the TIF fund.
Yes, it did, yeah, Gary, you're right. Debt service. This is something that we'll start using a little bit more, we have to pay our bonds out of here. Our general obligation bonds, so you'll see this change quite a bit, after June. Okay, so then you get down to page 15, you look at our, electric, garbage, natural gas, sewer, water. Nothing really out of the ordinary here, other than our water, you know, it's 48,000, it took a pretty good jump last month, but that's because of that $21,500 that I talked about on the very first page. That was, CDBG grant revenue, so that's gonna make that look a little skewed. And then we've got our, each fund. And I don't know if you guys remember, but last month I told you that, last month we had a huge, income in our electric fund because we didn't get a bill in time, or we didn't pay it in time, so you can see the $76,000 purchase of electricity, that's generally not that high, that's, a month and a half is what that is of charges there, so that's why we're negative in our net income. Natural gas, you can see our purchase of natural gas was ridiculously high. This really doesn't have anything to do with you guys, but I need to say this because I had a question. You know, I told you that our gas bills were gonna go up, or maybe I didn't tell you that, maybe I told somebody else, but anyway, our gas bills went up, and at the last meeting, I told you that when we get a bill, we generally send 80 or 90% of that to Western Iowa Energy, and that's how much they use, and last month, they only used half of what they generally do, and so somebody heard that and assumed that their bill went way up because of that. Well, that's not at all true, it has nothing to do with it, Western Iowa Energy is their own entity, and so, yeah, they pay what they pay, and we pay what we pay, and so our natural gas costs went way up, and so we had to pass that on to the customer, and nobody likes it, but
Still cheaper than propane.
yeah, not in a lot of ways. So then you go to our water fund, and you'll see in our water fund, we got a $25,000 net income, but like I said earlier, that's because of the $21,000 that we got in from the CDBG grant. Sewer, that was just gonna be negative for a little while. It's gonna take a while to make that up. We bought the backhoe, and then we bought the storm sewer pipe, so that's $37,000 that we don't ever spend out of that account, so. In our garbage fund, and I actually think our garbage fund is doing a little bit better, I mean, obviously, we raised our garbage rates a couple months ago, so it's helping.
It's going in the right
It's
direction.
helping, but it's still not there yet.
Yeah, but it's going in the right direction.
And that's all I've got, unless you guys have questions. And then from there on, Albert, from page 21 on is the general ledger activity report. That's everything that goes in or out of our general fund.
I looked at that the other day.
So if you have any questions about what's this, you know, $3,000 bill for, it says right here, you know, City of Lakeview, 3785. And then after that, there's even more detail for our
Cash receipts.
for the receipts and the disbursements, so.
I run through the whole works the other night, a couple
That's
times.
if you're having trouble sleeping, you get this out and look it over, and you
You'll
should,
be
you
asleep.
should be out right away. So, that's all I've got for the clerk's report.
Any questions to Chris? Council, any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept the clerk's report.
I'll make a motion, we accept the clerk's report.
Second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded to accept the clerk's report. All in favor say aye.
I,
All opposed nay. Clerk's report accepted. At this point in time, we have to adjourn to go upstairs for liquor sampling for Jamboree Foods. No. Discuss and approve liquor license for Jamboree Foods.
I'll make a motion, we approve the liquor license for Jamboree Foods.
Second?
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded to accept the liquor license for Jamboree Foods. All in favor say aye.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. You should probably abstain.
Well, I suppose you wanted a roll call.
Yeah, I did, but,
I'm waiting for Rob to back end here.
I am sitting pretty close to him, aren't I?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
One abstention.
that's the same.
Discuss and approve resolution 2014-08, resolution stating the following officials shall be signatories to said account at Westside State Bank in Wall Lake, and that each account requires 2 signatures.
This is where we need the
Yeah.
roll call.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Barb brought this into me the other day, and they've never had this problem ever before, but Peg was gone, and those two were the only 2 on the account, and they had to write a check, and so she thought maybe we should change that. And obviously, we put Lacey on there, and I thought Rob would be a good person to have on there. And I put myself on there too, so.
I'd make a motion, we approve resolution number 2014-008.
Second?
I'll second
Yes, sir.
Who's now assigned that's new?
Who is assigned that's new?
I'm new and Chris Rodman is new and Lacey Bruning is new because she's now the new manager upstairs.
Thank you.
Roll call vote. Rob?
Yes.
Gary?
it. Yes.
Francis?
Yes.
Albert?
Yep.
Ron?
Yes.
Motion carried. Discuss and approve the Kruger survey bid.
So we had this on the last council meeting, but it was just in the public forum, and I personally think we need to do something with this, one way or the other. We need to either say yes, or we need to say, no, we're gonna wait, because we don't know what we're doing. But, I thought about it after I put this in the last packet. I mean, now everybody can see it, so if we do this, we have to have this guy do it. We can't, we really can't, get a bid from anybody else, because they know what his bid is. I mean, I screwed that up, and
Okay, how soon does he have to know about this?
he doesn't really have to know right away, but
Then I think we should table it till next meeting, or the next month, to find out if we hire electricians.
Well, regardless whether we hire electricians or not, we need to know our right of ways in these alleys.
That is right, but, okay, whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you
Okay.
mean, but
I don't think that's a bad idea, Albert. I just wanted to let you guys know that now that this is out in the public, we really can't go ask somebody else for a bid.
well, I think that's a reasonable bid for what looks like what he is going to do.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of work there.
Yes, yeah. And you're gonna have to do that, because you sure don't wanna put a pole in the wrong place and find out, then you gotta move it.
Well, and I also talked to, the engineer today, and he said, don't jump the gun and think right away that you have to put in overhead. He said, you may be surprised, if you're gonna have your own guys do it, you may be surprised at what underground will cost. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff underground everywhere there, but I don't know exactly where it's at.
Yeah, but that you can get figured out too.
Yeah.
I mean, they come out and mark that, that's not that
It'll be in
hard.
the way even with overhead too.
Yeah, you're right.
Gotta cut some trees once in a while.
What's that gotta do with the underground?
Well, underground, no problem. Overhead, you got issues
That has
too.
nothing to do with what we're talking about, though.
You're right.
We're talking about locating.
We will have some issue with some buildings. There are some buildings basically right on the alley.
Right there, I got one right by me that's be hard to get by.
They may be able to bore that though, I guess.
Yeah, because they're going to the street,
Yeah, that probably won't be a
so
problem.
that could go. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is in cost. Poles are not cheap.
Which is about half.
Oh, yeah, it's a half or even a little less than half.
That's if you have somebody do it though, so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, I guess.
He's at least half, otherwise.
well, I mean, let's get back to, we're not gonna have to moor anything.
No,
We can hire that now.
Rob's correct on that.
I mean, yeah, we'll have to hire that done, so that's.
So does council want to table this one, or do we want to move forward?
Well, you know, as slow as government wheels move, and getting that guy actually here and doing the job, we need it done sometime here, you know?
And in here it says,
Bid is good for 214 only.
I would anticipate doing this work during the summer of 2014.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not
So
gonna
we
get
got
it
a little,
done.
we got a
We're
little
not
time
gonna start
basically
Thursday.
either way.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
got
no,
that,
you're not
we're
gonna
gonna start now anyway, but.
No question.
Let's just table
I'll
it.
tell you what I'll do, I'll get a hold of the guy and I'll ask him, you know, if he's filling up.
Fast or?
How soon he could do it.
Yeah.
Well, no, not
Thing
necessarily
I
that,
don't
but
wanna,
if
thing I don't
it's
wanna run into
full,
is we're ready to go and we can't do it because we haven't
They
surveyed.
got
Yeah.
surveyed, yeah.
I don't wanna do that either.
Then we're wasting a lot of money.
Okay, we're gonna table the Kruger Silverhead bid. John? Yes, sir.
2 quick questions. How much was the bid for?
$15,000.
15,000.
15 even? And is that for every alley in town, or?
No,
No.
there's like 2 of them that's not on there.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Discuss and approve Wilma Gosh donation. Chris?
We got, we received a check for $25,000 from Wilma Gosh, and, I mean, we can do what we want with it, but, you know, I would recommend that we use the majority of it for the shelter house. And then, I would actually like to see $4,000 taken out of that amount to pay for the, furnace at the library, right? But that's up to you guys completely.
That sounds sensible to me.
Well, the one we got amount is what, $25,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
Last year, we got 21,000 and we gave 15 of that to the shelter house. So. And I think they were, the shelter house committee, I don't know if you, how much you guys talked about it, but I think they were kind of banking on $10,000 of it.
Yes, we were.
But they're still $50,000 short, so an extra
We'll
$10,000.
know more. There's a meeting Wednesday night. We might have to revamp the design. I don't wanna go into a lot of detail tonight, because I don't wanna misspeak or step. There's some other alternatives that we are looking at to probably maybe cheapen it up, or we don't know if it's gonna cost us more money. So I don't, at this point in time, I don't wanna say anything, because I don't wanna misspeak. I'll know more Wednesday night when we have a shelter house committee meeting. Now, if you will scroll down, please, to page 41. This is, go ahead.
Can we
Yeah.
finish this?
Okay, yeah, I'm
Because
sorry.
I've been the only one talking, nobody here said
Okay,
anything.
yep, I'm sorry, Chris.
You're doing a good job, Chris.
The Wilma Gosh Fund,
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
we need to
4
finish
for the
that.
furnace, for the library, and 21 for the
Shelter house.
show. Unless we have some other things we need to, you guys can think of, that priorities.
Now's the time to speak.
When do you have to give that to the shelter house?
Towards the tail end, if you really actually push come to shove.
Well, no,
Those are those-
this is different than the $25,000 that we're talking about from the city though.
Oh, okay.
This is a $25,000 check that we've got sitting in the drawer over there. All we have to do is take it to the bank and put
And I'm sure they would like to see, that's what they would like to see, that they made their recommendation.
They actually would like to see all of it spent on the shelter
Around the
house.
shelter house.
But as we've been informed this last week, they, they don't have any authority to tell us how to spend it, so.
That is correct.
But they-
My personal opinion is I think you'd be better off to go pay the furnace off and do the 21. That's my personal opinion. Council has a decision, not me.
I just know one McGosh's fund has been very generous to the city. We've done a real good job for helping us out.
Yeah.
I think the library board.
We're
would be
lucky
very
we got her. Appreciate it in this
Yeah,
town.
in general fund, don't you?
Then better do it that way.
All we need is a motion. I mean, I was just throwing that out there, that's something that's, I guess, we should think about too, is all 25 going there and we just pay for the furnace ourselves, but,
Which we already have done,
pardon?
Yeah, you're right.
which we've already done. I would just make that motion to have the 25,000 put in to the
Motion on the table, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to have the Will McGosh Fund, all 25,000, go to the Park Shelter House Fund?
Yeah, do we have any discussion on
Yes, the discussion?
Will this be above and beyond our 25 that we promised them yet?
Yes,
yes.
yes.
it? Yeah, it's just money that the William Foundation gave to the city, and now it's up to our discretion on how to spend it.
You can't take it out.
Oh, no, I don't understand that, but if we covered us for our 25 for the city, then we're good to go.
No.
Yeah.
We just,
That would help.
Thinking,
That's help our bottom
we
line
just need to
though.
remember that we'll be dealing with the William Foundation again next
I
year.
understand.
Okay.
We'll have other things to deal with by then.
Yeah, that's why I seconded Ron's motion, because I think that they've been very good to the city, and I think they've got some things that, they like to do, and that they like to support, and they can't tell us what to do, but they can sure discuss it with us.
Suggestion.
Gary?
Suggestion.
Whatever.
Albert?
No, that's, I'm just learning all of this stuff.
Franny?
I'll get-
Ready to vote?
Ron? Any questions, concerns?
No.
Been moved and seconded to donate the full 25,000 to the Park Renovation Fund. Roll call, Rob?
Yes.
Gary?
Yeah.
Francis?
Yes.
Albert?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Motion's passed, you got that, Chris?
Yep.
Now, if you will please move to page 41.
How come you trying to skip over the electric rates here?
Twice now he's done
I want to get, okay, is that ahead? Oh, shit, that is. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, that's in here.
Sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
I want to get that one, rotate.
Okay, so, we've talked about our electric rates now for quite a while. We talked about it a little bit earlier today. What you're looking at here is, demand cost by customer. And obviously, I don't have the customer name in there because that really doesn't make any difference. But you can see there are a couple of them that are quite large. And down at the in the middle there, that $5,544.32, that's the total of all of the
On-
customers
On demand.
from customer 1 to customer 7. Everything below that is less than 50. So, I didn't add that in there. Yeah, this is just demand, strictly demand, Steve. It has nothing to do with any power costs or anything like that.
So anything under 50, you're thinking about,
Well, you know, that's what, I asked the question to, to our mean people out there, and that's what one of the guys out there said. He said, you should,
There it comes.
Just go over here, click on right over there. Next one, there you go.
Hmm.
There you go.
Oh,
You're just a little slow to respond tonight.
just like me.
he's doing Texas.
Understandable.
so the guy that I talked to said that what you should do is you should read meters for months, a couple of months, and get a good idea of what the increase will cost the customer. And then let the customer know that you're gonna do this several months ahead of time. And then he also suggested that anybody, you know, you should read these meters and then pick a number, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever it is, so that you don't charge the churches and the schools. And I don't know why he said that, but, I mean, it seems to make sense to me. Churches and schools are both, you know, they're both
So you're
public.
probably 8 through 11 is probably some of them.
Right,
numbers. Could be.
right. 8 through 11 is some of them, yes.
Yeah.
Now, there's also a customer in here, who runs like about for a month and a half, and that's it. And we didn't have the meters doing this at the right time, so I don't know what their demand cost is gonna be. And I still think we should charge them demand. But this gives you guys an idea of what kind of revenue we could generate by charging demand. And these demand costs will be, they'll be December, January, February, maybe a little bit in March, and maybe a little bit in November. So it won't be all year. This is heating costs
But
mostly.
Chris, you're telling me that basically Means is charging this. Our cost factors are into this?
Yeah, Mean and WAPA both charge us demand, right?
So we're
But not only
stuck,
that-
we just haven't been passing on.
But not only that, Gary, every municipal or every other energy company around here charges it.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
wasn't me, I think we peaked at what, 7:30, I forget what day it was, but they showed our peak on there and everything.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and last month was huge. I mean, think of the electricity that we used last month. It was over 1.1 million kilowatts we used.
And that sets our peak for the whole year, basically?
I mean, kind of,
Somewhat.
but
Kinda does, right?
but not necessarily.
100%.
Right, not 100%. But it sure adds to it, yeah.
And adds to it, yeah.
So that's the demand part of this page. If you look just down to the left there where it says the power rate allows for energy cost of the customer bill to decrease. What that means is we charge 9 cents for every kilowatt for commercial and for residential. If you get to the power rate, which we only charge one customer that, but if you get to that, they get charged 8 cents for the first 5,000 kilowatts, and then it goes down to 5.5 cents. So just that part of, just the power part of that ordinance allows for the cost to be lower. So if you look over here, your demand, or your costs will decrease by about 10% as you go up. Over on the left side, you got kilowatts, and then over on the right side, you got the decrease. So if you use 22,500 kilowatts, your cost will decrease by about 10%. But then you've got the demand added onto that, so that increases your cost.
Yeah.
Just a vicious cycle.
It is a vicious cycle, and it's ridiculous to try to wrap your head around all of this. Another thing that you should think about too is if we put a customer on demand and they use 22,500 kilowatts, their bill goes down by 10%. If they only used, 30 to 40 kilowatt hours, we won't recoup enough, and their whole bill will go down. So, I mean, what do? You do that and lose money, or
You're picking up on the other end from the other customers,
Pick and
whoever's
choose
using the peak would be the payee.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things to look at, but I mean, I think we need to start charging demand to some customers. And they're not gonna like it, but
Yeah, but what's the other cities doing? I
They
think
all-
we got about the
Everybody else
cheapest.
is paying for
They're
it.
all charging demand.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They
We
all
got about
charge
the
demand.
cheapest electricity around, I think. And so, you gotta keep up. You can't keep losing money. That don't work.
Configure truck.
You think that'll do it?
so, I mean, you guys just look at this, think about what we're gonna do. I think one thing that we should probably do, and we could even do that at the next meeting if you wanted to, is do the ordinance like we talked about at the last meeting here, even now that we're here, but, what we talked about is, in the wintertime, we get charged $8.45 for demand. In the summertime, we get charged $11.29. We bill our customers at $8.
So we're losing
That's it.
money, basically.
Yeah.
So what we've talked about, what I've talked about, these guys haven't really said anything, but not that they need to, that the power, that ordinance should read, will charge demand at what we get charged, is my opinion. I mean, that's completely up to you guys, but I mean, it just seems logical to me. If we're gonna charge it, we just will charge what we're getting charged for it.
Yeah.
Does council think we need to go out and explain that to the customer that's gonna get charged the demand?
Well, I think you have to go out and explain, you know, of course, again, we do get our meters and understand where their demand's gonna be at, and let them, you know, tell them what we're doing, and
Obviously, this isn't just customer one here. I know who that is.
Yeah.
You know, we know who that is, so we can go tell them, you know, this is what's gonna happen.
you know, they do the same thing if they were in a business and they knew they were losing money, they'd go out, they just raise the rates to cover that, so
Yeah,
that's all we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just trying to,
They don't often go out and explain to the
No, it's,
consumer why their rates went up. I think it would just be a show of a white man just to go out and say, you know what, this is what's happening to us, guys. We've gotta pass this along to you.
Certainly, I don't think there's any question.
Well,
I don't think,
I don't-
I really don't believe you're gonna get that much negative response.
I don't think there'll be a negative response,
I
it's
don't
just
think
that
so.
I think they're gonna wanna know what
Well,
happened.
yeah, as long as you tell them what.
This is
the
what happens
deal
to us,
is.
this is what the city, and all we're doing is passing along this
Yeah,
increase.
most people understand. It's the ones that you gotta give them a big shock that they, whoa, what happened here?
So, that's all I've got on that page. You guys just, you know, look it over, and I think what I'll do though is I'll put that ordinance on the next council meeting, and we can talk about it there. You guys don't have to pass it if you don't want to.
No,
well, we gotta do something with that,
Yeah.
45 cents difference, that
Yes.
definitely is not right.
Oh.
No, that's right.
How much revenue are you trying to make up?
Well, we don't know what the demand charge is at this point in time, so, yeah, we don't have a number set in stone that we can give you.
Your demand charge is based on how much you use.
I understand that.
So, you know, it's not a finite number. It's just a number that's out there that whatever they use
That's what the
is
demand will
is
be.
what we are getting charged a demand for. And right now,
We're not
the
charging.
citizens of Wall Lake are paying for their demand charge. Because the total bill still is divided up among the citizens of Wall Lake. And I don't know that that's fair to the citizens of Wall Lake.
We don't know, demand charge could be higher, could be less, depending on a month of usage. So,
But what, Curtis, what you really wanna know is do we have a number, $30,000 that we wanna try to increase our revenue? No, we really don't have that.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
And that's no more than like REC.
We do know that Meads is gonna raise our billing April 1st, at least 25,000 for this year, we do know that. So that'll be the next issue.
Very true. Okay, Steve, now you can go to page
No,
4.
any more questions? Any more discussion?
I was just gonna say.
I wanna make sure that we
your
get this
RECs,
demand down.
Everybody gets charged their own rate.
Well, I wanna make sure everybody understands about this demand,
Yeah, I
and
do, yeah.
then we're gonna go out and we're gonna talk to the consumer, and
If you wanna see a bill, I should show you the means or, other one, and try to figure out all the numbers on there and how that all works. They got it so complicated that
It is, it's ridiculous.
Well, the last time they were here, they really didn't explain it.
No.
You know, then we said, well, like the one that we said, the bill we got from Mean, we had 0 energy costs and we had $4,000 demand charge. Well, how can we have a demand charge if we don't use any energy? Well, that's what the meter said.
yep.
So, you know, those kind of things. I said, so basically you're billing us $4,000 a month just to be with us. And he said, well, I'm not gonna say it that way, but
This will complicate Lakeview, hires a guy from I think Illinois, just to figure out whether they're getting ripped off from the electric company. They got a guy they hire full-time to check their billing. They pay him pretty big money too. We never done that, they're doing that all the time. Hopefully we don't have to do
Let me go
that.
back up there again.
Yeah, back on interview.
Click on.
Any other questions on this demand?
Oh, you gotta click on the right side of the mouse, the left side of the mouse.
There you go.
Oh.
no, numbers explain.
Yeah, I pretty simple.
I just wanna make sure
Did a
everybody
good job
understands
with
this
the numbers, I
demand.
don't know where that.
Not sure thing.
I might get this figured out.
I think it's.
That's the way, you
Yeah,
gotta
I
count
see
it
that,
on.
yeah.
Cause I don't want it to go the same as the garbage trucks going, you know, backwards. We gotta do something, we just can't continue to go the other direction. Okay,
We got preset.
now if you go to page 41,
Fill in the dots.
you know,
Really, before you started,
yeah, that's fine.
I think we should clarify just a little bit though. I mean, it's not like we're losing money in our
Yeah.
electric fund. Not at all, you know. I hate for somebody to listen to this and say, oh, you know, we're in trouble. We're not losing money in our electric fund. So,
No, but I don't want
just
to
so
go
people,
that way
just so
either.
people understand it.
Yeah.
No, we do, you're right, we do have to change.
Yeah,
But it's not like
that's-
we have to change because we're losing money in our
No,
electric
but,
fund.
because we're gonna get socked another bill,
Right,
and,
it's going up.
yeah, and the consumer needs to know that this is what's gonna happen, so. Yeah, if you have any questions, the question mark behind pool committee is, my name and Lindsay King. I have, now got Amanda Miller is on board. She'll be there. If you have any questions or concern about who I've appointed, please contact me. Albert, you'll be working with Vertus. I figured you were a very good choice, you and Bertie get along pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
What that entails is when they pour concrete for the stone, Vertus is very good, he makes sure that it's
It's in the right spot.
correct depth, correct amount of cement, it's in the right spot, what have you. That's what my cemetery sexton does, so if you wanna go down and talk to him, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, no, I've got a few things to talk to him about.
Gary and Ron, as you both are on the Mean Electric, and that will stay that way until we get an electrician hired. Rob is gonna be maintained by Mayor Pro Tem. Franny, you're my EMA, and I'll be your backup. If there's any questions, please contact me, and I can change, diversify, alternate, do whatever you like. This has been also passed last meeting, except for the question mark, and Donna Aldag wanted off bad. So I let her off, and then I went and contacted Amanda Miller, and she was more than happy. She's a guidance counselor for East Sac County. I think she'll be very
You
good.
should make a good one.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, probably. Okay, now we're gonna move on. Did I miss anything, Chris?
No,
Okay, public forum. Anybody have anything in the public forum?
I was asking how we're gonna look at that, Chris, on these houses, or are we Haven't done anything all winter, have we, on,
No, on the nuisance abatement that you and I drove around at?
is there something we should start working on, I suppose?
Yeah, I have the list. I have the list in my computer, but I still think we need to go and fill out that sheet that I.
Yes, Chris and I talked about
And
that.
that way, because, you know, we went to a meeting, Franny, Rob, Steve and I were all there, we went to a meeting up in Shaler, early, I mean, and, their city attorney was talking about the difference between a nuisance and, what do you call it, an eyesore,
Yeah.
maybe? So, you know, there's just some things you can't, I mean, you can't make somebody who needs to paint their house tear it down. But you can make somebody who has holes in the roof and windows missing and stuff like that, you can change that. So there's some things that we gotta talk about there, but, I mean, we need to definitely get something done, I agree.
And, maybe Chris, you can get us those forms, get me and Gary those forms. We'll try and get them filled out for you, because we know you're busier than hell. Maybe Gary and I can fill those forms out together some night.
Yeah. We can figure it out,
We can drive
I just
by.
think we gotta move forward a little bit on, I'm
Yep.
not,
Well, and that, you know, I went around and did it too, and there's some on my list that aren't on yours, and there's some on your list that aren't on mine, so we
Which is
just put
fine.
the two together.
That's fine, I have no problem with that.
but, I have, we're talking about a little about electricity and everything, and I asked Chris, we'd like to get the electrician, and we'd like to do some work this summer. Maybe we should look to see what money's available to go ahead with some of this electric work, which definitely we need some improvement on the electric system. We get some, maybe Chris can come up with some numbers where, how much we can afford to spend per year or a year at a time on the electric system. Something we should kind of look at.
I think we should have a work time to look at that.
Huh?
I think we should have a work time to look at.
Yeah, I think we need a work session, you know, and, or something of that caliber, so we can, you know, if we got so many bucks that we can put into our system this year, so we know, how our finances look, and see what we can do with it.
Yeah, Gary, we've been talking about that actually for quite a
Yeah.
while now, and we got some ideas, I mean,
So,
I don't think anything's set in stone like this $4,600 bill that we got from Maine. I don't assume that we'll get another one of those, but how do you know?
Is there a city league meeting?
Yeah, this Wednesday at Lytton, at the Friendship Haven.
Oh, yeah, it is. That was already done though, Franny, back, when did they need to know that by the 3rd, I think?
I think I got it on my calendar, so that's why I was,
I think I told you yes for me.
you going?
Yeah,
I think I got myself scheduled to go.
Well, I said I'd go to the that gives me an excuse to miss church. But I don't know, I gotta make soup the way it sounds, so.
Chairman of the church, I'm really
we gotta sign this, what we're doing.
Yeah, he's a blue pin according to the mayor.
Yep, I'd like.
I figured you
Blue,
would.
please.
be, but I thought-
Give me your pin there, Steve.
yeah, what those things are that you guys are signing is just a letter for a couple of grants that we're applying for. One's for the shelter house and one's for the.
I didn't give one. I don't need mine. They don't need
Yeah,
mine.
oh, no, maybe I didn't.
I was gonna ask you one other thing, we got this, I wasn't been here now, we got the tree deal, there's a grant for trees, or did that fly through, or what, all that?
I signed up for something.
That's,
You got your trees already picked?
that's due, the end of this week.
One more thing,
Well, yeah, how
Rob.
bad that?
Put in our-
March 27th at Carroll, and it's at the Country Club Golf.
Just to get our 5-gallon pail.
is Northwest Iowa League of Cities, 27th, I believe that's a Thursday. I'd like to see everybody there if possible.
Of March?
Yeah, we should have that, I don't know if you got that in your packets or not. That's the Northwest Iowa League of Cities. Tells you what this is. Program by Carol Mayer Adams Grant Partnership among governmental agencies and segments of the general public. Run a copy for everybody, please. That's the 27th, and I think you got RSVP to Chris by, is it the 20th or something, Chris?
27th this month? I wasn't paying attention.
Yes, 27th this month. Now I'd entertain that motion. Rob?
Move adjourned.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, Gary, you want a roll call vote?
You could.
Yeah.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Yeah, been here for 3 months.